Hi, and welcome to video 6. Let's look at how to create a table in Dreamweaver. Notice I'm working in my index.html, the good old practice page that we've been using all along. And I'm going to click below the last thing we did in our practice here, where we talked about Shift plus Enter to single space. And I'm going to insert a table. We could go to Insert Table and use the options here, but it's faster to find it on your common toolbar. And now we have the choices that you would see typically in Microsoft Word. We're going to tell it how many rows, remember rows go across, and how many columns, which go up and down, that we want it to have. So I'm going to make it 3 rows with 1 column. That means it's going to go all the way across. Now when you first open yours up, it'll say something maybe like 200 pixels here. What I want you to know is you can change from pixels to percent, and the biggest percent you can have is 100. That would fill your whole screen. If you have a 1 here for your border thickness, change it to a 0, because we actually do not want a border on these tables as we practice them. Click OK, and you have your first table. If I click below it, I have the regular toolbar at the bottom of the page. If I click on the very bottom row, it selects the entire table. And if I come down below at the bottom of the page here, it'll tell me how many rows the table has, how many columns, that the width is 100%, that the border is 0. So we could change those things. I could actually change the border from 0 to 1, click up here, and now the table has a border. I'm going to click on it again, change that back to 0, because I don't want it to have one. If you did have a border, you could change the color of the border, and you can change the background color in the individual cells or in the whole table. Now if I click inside one of the rows, here's my first row, again I see different things down here, such as the default fonts and such, but also down here we have alignments for horizontal and vertical. We also have merging cells and splitting cells, which is something we're going to use as well. We can do our background colors, background images, again borders, and we even have the page properties option. One button that can be kind of tricky to find is this one right here, the text color button, because it's not really labeled. You have to hover over it to see it. So make a note there that the text color is right below this CSS button for when you need that. Something I want you to notice when you're first in a table. I'm going to drag the first row down so it's a little bit bigger, and I'm going to click in there. Notice it's blinking right in the middle vertically of the cell. Each of these boxes is called a cell. And I want it to be at the top. So I'm going to come down here to vertical. I'm going to click the down arrow and change it to top. It's now going to be blinking in the top of that row, which is where I want to start typing. Every row starts out at vertical default, which actually puts it in the center. So oftentimes you'll want to change vertical to top, so that you start typing in the top of the actual cell. So go ahead and go out and create the table according to the directions in the black binder, and then come back to the next step and we'll continue creating our first table.